Hello friends, how are you? Hope everything is going well. Today I'm gonna show you how I made Nobody's Perfect that is out on Groove Culture Deep. This is our session and I started making this track thinking about a track that I really like that is called Yeah School from a City Soul project. It's a deep house track and I like to recreate that kind of sound. And for this reason I started with the harmony. There are two synths here and it's a sample from Splice that I chop and replay it MIDI and it sounds like this. As you can see, I create that kind of groove stuff played with two different tracks. And about the processing, I like to use this kind of crunchy sparkle sound, lo-fi sound, and I added this with one of my favorite plugins that is Unison Zen Master. It's the same as Cersei Retrocolor, but it's free, and you can add this kind of analog taste, lo-fi taste on your tracks. After that, I create this harp and I use an arpeggiator on a sample from Splice also, and I think the sample is sound like this. It's more, it's like a really UK deep house, UK garage sound, and I use an arpeggiator and I create this kind of groove. Arpeggiator is a really cool plugin. It's stock from Logic, and you can create something really interesting. And the most important things for me in this plugin is the swing, and as you can hear, the swing is more important because it's if I go standard, I go down 50%, it sounds like this. You can feel that the sound is really cool. It's more swing, more groovy, and when I want to create something really interesting, I use the arpeggiator. About the processing, I use the TRS White Classic LA2A Decapitator, one of my favorite saturator, Pro Q3, and Piano Centric. I made a video on Instagram about this plugin. It's really cool. With one knob you can add stereo imaging, compression, and EQing to the sound. It's really cool. Together the harmony part sound like this. It's really cool, interesting. And after that I start making the bass. Bass is from one of my favorite, it's one of my plugin sound, my VST instrument, and it's called Buchla Bass. And I create this because I would like to create something similar to the bass that one of my favorite producers, Angelo Ferreri, used for his track, and while tweaking I create something very interesting also because it's more like the most important part of this sound is the portamento. While tweaking all the envelope, I turn up the portamento. You can feel that inside the bass there is some slide inside. You can feel the slide inside this bass, and it's really cool. Sorry. About the processing of the bass, I use the kickstart for set chaining, the MB that I use one of my preset. Also I use one moment. also I use the SPL just to have a bass a more dry bass. The 1176 for of EK Multimedia, Decapitator, and Saturn. This setup of Saturn is to make the note of the sound of the bass, the upper frequencies of the bass, cut through the mix and have a more present sound. After that, I started making the drums. The drums is all the orange stuffs here. I start create something from the kick, the clap, and the hat, and once I have the main house pattern, I built the drums around it. Start adding the main tops. All the drums here, all drums here are MIDI because I use the sample, convert it in MIDI, and play it by myself to create a more original stuffs, you know. The perks is so subtle. The perks, you can hear the perks are so subtle, you know. Just to make the texture more groove. This shaker, I would like to here, okay. The shaker, this one, the perks, other perks, open head. There are two different open heads because I would like to use two different sounds of open head, and also a rhythm kick because while making the track, I feel that there is something missing. I felt that there is something missing, and I added this rhythm kick just to have a more groove inside the pattern of the kick. Of course, ride. And about the processing, I always use the same things, but now I change different few plugins for making drums. But this is an old project, so back in the days, I use the channel EQ, the decapitator, another channel EQ just to cut the low frequencies of the distortion, and simple as that. About the kick, I use the opto compressor just to make the kick more punchy, and the decapitator, of course, kickstart using this kind of setup just to cut some rumble some release of the kick to have a short kick, and also the decapitator. About after that, I started to create something interesting on the atmospheres. I add this rainy texture, and this just to create the atmospheres. I added this stub bass, simple as that, to create some ear candy, you know. This vocal chop, and this vocal breathe, just to have that just to give more emphasis to that part inside, together with the ride, you know. I use a sample played by myself to create something really groovy, some bellissimo. I said it in Italian, wonderful. After that, I use a pad just to create a more relaxed sound inside the break, especially in the build up, you know. I use also here piano centric, of course, some glitch, just to create just to create something more groovy. And after that, I added the voice. The voice is a spoken word, and I like to use this kind of sound, crunchy sound, because I like I like a lot the ways of old speeches, the sound of old speeches. You know, a lot of noise, lot of crackle, a lot of crunches, lot of sparkle, and that's why I add so much noise from glitch, lo-fi, vinyl, and after that I processing the voice with the compressor of SSL, because it creates something more cohesive. I don't go over the 3 dBs of gain reduction. After that, the voice centric is the same as piano centric. We have with one knob, stereo imaging, compression, and EQing. Perfect is my go-to for the voice. After that, I spend so much time creating this feel, because Yaskul have this feel, this drum feel that played during the track, and for me it's really hard to find the right drum feel, and that's why I'm creating my own folder of all the feel that I use in my previous track, and I think this is great for this track. For this one, I use a Chromaverb CLA3A Decapitator Pro G, just to cut some decays, have more dry sound, and simple as that. Yeah. After that, we on the bottom of the track we have all the effect that I use. I use all the same effects for all of my tracks, because I like this kind of sound that it gives to my track, and it depends on the taste of the producer, you know. And after that, I created these metallic effects with Portal. If you don't know, Portal is this plugin, and from Output, and it is so cool for create something really interesting. We can go to the advanced settings and create something really strange. Just try it by yourself and see that it's super cool. And I created this this plugin. I create this effect. I also use here the Pancake. It's a free plugin that gives you to move the sound from left to right, and it's also great for creating space between instruments if you want to use it for drums, pads, and stuff like that. I also about the bass processing, I process the bass drums using SSL native. It's classic bass compressor, the distressor, DBX, and AQPI. This is my drum bass, and I really like this compressor and this EQing just because it gives you distressor and DBX more punchy and more drier sound. The AQPI a smooth hair on the 12K, and the SSL compression, the gold one, and just to use it just to gluing all the drums together. But I use the high pass filter just because the kick, I avoid the kick from the input signal, just to have a more cohesive sound inside the compression. After that, I I go to the output effects. I use all the effect, Endless Smile and the gain for the build up. and I go down to the bass before the drop just to have the drop more punchy, more impact into the drop. The mix, I use all the same my mix box. I use all the same plugin, linear phase multiband. I like it because it gives me the possibility to have the compression simultaneously on all the spectrum like this, and as you can see, all the color go downs in the same time, and you can feel that the track is the track the sound of the track, it's more cohesive, more gluing. It's more like a real track and not a demo, you know. After that, I use SSL native again for gluing all the mix together, and there's a retro color just to have a more more noisy sound, just to have a vinyl noise inside the track. About the mastering, I use Pro Q3, SSL channel, the compression just to have more gluing sound, AQPI classic, L2, a limiter, overdrive. This is a saturator, a stock saturator from Logic, and it's a smooth saturator, and it is very cool. The TRS classic, clipper, and the stealth limiter. Simple as that. I think we talk about all the instruments that I had inside this project. I hope you really enjoyed the video. I hope if you didn't listen to the track yet, go check it out. It's out everywhere, Spotify and stuff like that. And hope you enjoyed the video. We see you next time, and see you.